You're such an asshole.
How you kids doing? So this has been going around. Joker did a video on it. I've had 3 people send this to me. One person paid me to talk about. So obviously this is a thing. You have disturbed my slumber. Why do you wake me? And I'm like, oh, Matt Walsh is saying something. And again, I probably agree with 98% of what Matt Walsh says. But he's part of this cabal of traditional conservative people, that's fine, who are pro-marriage and pro-tradition. And just as Democrats think that they in society are entitled to a share of your labor in the form of taxation to help pay for them to live, some of these people from the traditional and more conservative side of politics, which I'm more politically aligned with, I don't agree with, it's not like I'm a card-carrying Republican. They believe that people have some kind of societal obligation to make life choices, namely have kids or raise a family, which obviously I disagree with. I'm like the mentally impaired redheaded stepchild that nobody likes. I'm the libertarian of the family, but I'm the one that doesn't tell you about it in the first 5 seconds of knowing you. And I guess he's talking about DINKs, which I am. I'm not a huge income person, but I don't have no kids. And I don't know what the video is going to be, but I'm going to guess. Am I going to be right? Am I going to be in the ballpark that Matt Walsh, doubling, that's not real adult mature. That's not being really an adult. That's not that. Hey, now there, you, Mr. Not collecting a government check and supporting people and paying extra taxes. You and that woman better start spitting out some children. Am I going to be right about, am I? And just, I'll say it now. Well, maybe I'll tailor my opinion. I'm just being arrogant, assuming what Matt is going to say. I'm going to say that Matt and, the Dave Ramseys and the Dennis Pragers, wonderful men. Sounds like they do. They want to be going to bat for marriage if they're married to the average American money grubbing sow. Sounds like they got great wives who support them, and they're not wrong. If you got the right gal, it'd be great. But especially Dennis, he's so old. Him and Dave Ramsey are old. I think Matt just is lucky, and that's nice. You guys think that, and then all right. Now shut the fuck up. Thank you for your service. You're a great American hero. Now shut the fuck up and let me do my job. These are guys who are removed from the real world. They're removed from the average man's experience. And where academically, theoretically, they're not wrong. The advice cannot be given to the vast majority of young American men today. I also wonder is it going to be the guy's fault? Hey, you boys better go get married. What are you going to tell the girls? They are getting their bag right now. What are you're gonna go tell them to lose weight? Where's that going? So I'll play it. Oh, I should read the request. Please do a video response to this Matt Walsh video. Okay, here we go. It's 15 minutes. I'll be starting and stopping, and I'm gonna interject not too much. All right, let's play this.
About a year ago, we first talked about the growing community of people who call themselves DINKs. Now,
okay. He makes it sound there's this new community that DINKs has been a term since the 70s. I remember using like, oh, I want to be a DINK, double income, no kids. That sounded great to me as a young boy. Oh my God, there's this newfangled device. It's called the automobile. Have you heard about it? Okay, all right, Matt.
DINK may sound like some kind of racial slur, but it's not. Well, I mean, it was technically. Some people used it as a pejorative term for the Vietnamese during the Vietnam.
No, that wasn't. It started CH. That's what it. And never mind.
More. It's also a term familiar to my fellow bass fishermen, used to describe any game fish below 12 inches in length. But in this case, DINK does not refer to either
It's gonna be a long video.
Asians or small fish. DINK is an acronym that stands for dual income, no kids. So these are the childless by choice folks, those who get married and could have kids, but choose instead to have a barren, sterile relationship.
All right, see, right off the bat, he's already laid judgment, which is intellectually dishonest. You chose to have a barren, unpurposed, unfulfilled. No, you chose to take the hammer and smash your testes and pour salt on. No, there are probably good reasons people didn't want to have kids. All right, it's going to be that way, huh, man? All right, okay.
Focused entirely on their own superficial wants and desires.
Okay, see, I can't take. Okay, I have lost respect for Matt because there's no look. I'm not a big tolerant person, all right, but I do allow people their own choice. He's already judging you for not. I don't. See, now I gotta wonder: is he doing this for clickbait? Does he really believe it, or is he just being purposely controversial?
Now, the DINKs are getting a lot of attention these days, especially over the past week. On Monday, Business Insider ran a piece.
Okay, Business Insider is not a large, relevant. It's not. It's not an article. It's not a thing. Okay.
Titled, "Meet the Typical DINK. They have over $200,000 in the bank and aren't paying for pricey childcare."
Oh no.
The article tells us, quote, "It seems like everyone wants to be a DINK these days. DINK households that are double income with no kids are seeing their ranks grow, especially as a high cost of living and the climate crisis weigh particularly on people with children. There are variations on the DINK or the SINK, single income, no kids. You could be a DINK WAD, which means double income, no kids with a dog." DINK WADs, who previously spoke to Business Insider, said that the lifestyle gives them financial stability, the capacity to travel, and the ability to dodge the ever-increasing cost of parenthood.
So let me ask you guys this. Okay, is that a bad thing? Is that bad? How about the number one cause of poverty? I've said it again, is having kids you can't afford. Now, men can play this game because we can have kids forever. What if men? I wonder how many of the single men out there with incomes, how many of you would have kids if the right gal came along? You know? Oh no, people are being fiscally responsible. Why don't you go talk to the black community? Why don't you go talk to the young black men in my audience? Why don't you talk to the black clients that I've had? You know why they're contacting me at Asshole Consulting? Because their mom had more kids than they could afford. It's the number one guy. Wow. Anyone largely coming into my office is from some form of a broken home. But you are not going to help anyone pressuring people to have kids earlier than they should, if at all, when they shouldn't. Oh no, they're being frugal. They're being wise. They like, hey, I don't want to suffer financially. Is that the goal? Everyone kind of, I mean, it's not everyone's and all life goals. Again, my life goal is freedom, but is it financial stability? Like, shouldn't that be everybody's universal goal when it comes to economic? I'm not saying becoming wealthy and billionaires, but I don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. Hang on. I want to know where Matt Walsh came from. Hang on, Matt. Sorry, I got to do this to you. We're going to do a little bit of a clarity test on you. Matt Walsh, did you come from wealth? I want to know, did you come from wealth, Matt? Did you have an easy childhood? Did mom and dad help you with college? I want to know this. Career talk show host in 2020. So he's 37. That's 13 years ago. So you have been a radio disc jockey. I'm sorry, it's not a real job. Let's admit that, Matt. You and I do not have real jobs here. You were 13 years ago, 2010. So why can't I do the math? You're 24. Moved, website, leaving radio, blogging, show canceled, Blaze, boop-a-doo, boop-a-doo, boop-a-doo. Where is, I don't care about your views. Where are you? I agree with his views mostly. Personal life, practicing, he was married, whom he met in eHarmony. They have 6 children, including, good for him. several miscarriages. That's unfortunate. I want to know whose parents are. Where did you come from, Matt? Where did you come from that you could pursue a career as a radio DJ at 24? Let me find his bio. I want to find this out. I should have looked this up before. You're right, guys. The Matt Walsh blog. That domain is up for sale. Wikipedia, obviously, people are. Matt Walsh blog. Matt Walsh bio. Okay. No, this is the Wikipedia. Okay. Matt Walsh biography, mini, best known for the show, written 4 books. How did you write 4 books? Trivia. Father of 6, eldest daughter, host. You understand my point? Somebody, if you guys know his background, please put it in the comments section below. And of course, the internet goes to shit. Of course it does. I'm going to Asia. I'm sick of this shit. Let's continue on. Just bear with me, guys. I have to wait for the internet to come back.
And it's a lifestyle that's paying off as dinks emerge on top of a shaky economy. So who are the dinks of America? Their ranks are set to grow. They're making 6 figures, and they want to spend their money on their pets and traveling.
No!
Yes, dink wad if you have a dog, or I guess dink whack if you have a cat, or dink wop if you own a pony or a pig or a parrot, or if you're a big Cardi B fan.
Matt. Yes,
there are many variations, but they all boil down to the fact that you have decided to not have kids. And as the article details, this is a rapidly growing group. Quote, around 5% of the country's total population was cohabitating couples who do not live with a child under 18, and around 29% of the total population are married couples who do not live with a child under 18, according to the 2022 American Community Survey data. Among unmarried couples, that figure is slightly up from 2019, when 4.4% of the population was cohabitating couples not living with a child.
I'm still waiting for. And so, what are they doing? Are they kicking people in shins? The shins randomly? What?
Under 18. The U.S. Census Bureau also finds that the aging population is increasingly child-free. As of 2018, over 1 in 7 women were childless by the time they were between the ages of 40 and 44. That's higher than the 1 in 10 women who were in the same boat as of 19.
Women don't want to have kids, man. And
1976. A Pew survey found that 44% of non-parents ages 18 to 49 said that they were not likely or not at all likely to have kids at all someday, up from 37%. Okay, but what is the dink existence really like?
Are you going to tell me, Matt? Is Matt going to tell me? Let me tell you the dink life is like. It's like, wait, your biggest problem is South Dakota internet. That's your biggest problem right now. Oh my God. Why is this? Hang on, guys. I'm sorry. I can't do this. I can't do this. It's 9 a.m. What asshole is using my internet? What the hell is going on? What the fuck? I'm looking at my little. All right, we're just gonna do this. I apologize, guys. I gotta wake up.
Well, this week there has also been, for whatever reason, a sudden surge in TikTok videos promoting this lifestyle. And most of them kind of follow the same annoying format, which looks like this. Watch.
We're dinks. We go to Trader Joe's and workout classes on the weekends.
We're dinks. We get into snobby hobbies like skiing.
Okay, so here's where I got to call into the veracity of Matt's show. Is he naive enough to think that TikTok videos are a reflection of the real world? Or doesn't he know? He's got to. He's not that dumb. He's got to know that TikTok is like the looking in the bowels of society. These are supposed to be agitating and so now it makes me wonder, okay, is this all clickbait? This is all clickbait. Does he really believe that DINKs are a problem? Or is he like, oh my God, well, I do declare the black people in their rap music. Oh heavens, Beauregard, somebody must do something. I'm just going to play this so the internet.
In golfing.
We're dinks. We can go to Florida on a whim.
We're dinks. We're already planning our European vacation next year.
Dinks. We get a full 8 hours of sleep and sometimes more.
We're dinks. We get desserts and appetizers at restaurants.
We're dinks. We can play with other kids.
Okay, these two kids are a pain in the ass. It's shtick.
And give them back.
We're dinks. We still do it 3 times a week.
We're dinks. We spend our discretionary income on $8 lattes.
Here's another question I got. Because I doubt the veracity of Matt. Are you actually jealous of them? Are you upset that best opportunity cost? I would say if you want to have kids, Matt did it right. He has a big full family. It sounds like he's happy. He's having more joy in life, getting that out of. Not everyone's you, Matt. Now, are you jealous that they get to have 6'3"? Although I guess if you've got 6 kids, Matt is not exactly slowing down. But for your average married couple, your average married couple absolutely is jealous of the DINKs. Absolutely. Oh,
We're dinks. We max out our 401ks, Roth IRAs, and HSAs.
We're dinks. We don't use our kids or dog as an excuse to leave a party. We just leave.
Yes, well, I'm a CISC, single
I don't care, Matt.
income, 6 kids, and I can do you one better. I make no excuse to leave a party because I just don't go to parties in the first place.
Oh, do you get the impression Matt is not a fun guy to hang around?
But I guess that has more to do with being ASWIC, antisocial with kids, which isn't much different from being ASWAC, antisocial without kids. But in any case, you may notice that most of the things they're bragging about, besides the ability to leave social gatherings when they want to, which I guess they imagine for some reason is something parents aren't able to do, but most of the things all revolve around their increased ability to buy stuff. And this is a theme that runs through basically all of.
No. It's for some people, no doubt, yes. It's their freedom. That's what it is. You could have just freedom too. You could have ended it there, Matt. Freedom too. Whatever they want. Sleep? Holy shit. I wish I got sleep back in the day. That is a wonderful thing to have. Wonderful thing to have. And here he is, things and stuff. And you guys know I'm not a big materialist.
Of the DINK propaganda. Watch.
We're dinks. We're going to get asked daily when we play.
All right, so this is just a trend on TikTok, and you're taking it as serious social commentary, Matt? God damn it. This again, I'm not a fan of these TikTok people either. They're spoofing you. They're laughing. They're making fun of all you. Don't you guys get it?
Plan on having kids.
We're dinks. Of course we're going to go out to eat every night after work.
We're dinks. We don't have to ask our family for financial help or to watch our kids.
And this isn't, I'm not saying these people are Republicans, but isn't it nice to point out to all the people that spat out kids they couldn't afford, all the piece of shit welfare bums, like, hey, look at us. Fuck you. I can understand as a retributive political statement from these people. Like, hey, you have 5 different kids from 5 different baby daddies. Go fuck yourself. That's what this is. Can we celebrate people who are fiscally responsible? Oh, no, I got someone, you got to have kids like us.
When we want to go out.
We're dinks. We're going to go to Costco and buy all the snacks in bulk that we want.
We're dinks. We have disposable income to spend on whatever we would like and don't have to spend on a kid.
We're dinks. I'm going to go to every football game and play 18 holes whenever I want.
How did he get hurt?
We're dinks. We're going to get asked to every single family event what we're doing with our life.
Yes, we're dinks. We can buy things. We can consume. Look at all the consuming we do. We are such dedicated consumers. You dumb parents with your dumb children. You can't possibly devote as much.
See, now they're not saying you're stupid for not having kids or for having kids. They're just, I guess you got to make a living.
Much of your life to buying and eating, which is literally the only thing we care about in this world, apparently. And this is the message over and over again. Another example.
We're dinks. We're going to be asked constantly by family, friends, and strangers when we're going to.
We're dinks.
I'm skipping.
We're going to have lots of.
That we're just obsessed with material things.
Or rope our family.
Life is by having kids.
We're dinks. We're going to book flights whenever we feel like it.
We're dinks.
Now, as you're probably noticing, these people apparently have a weird preoccupation with Costco. They're making videos providing unsolicited lists of the things that make their lives fulfilling, and somehow Costco makes the cut. Here's another one. Watch.
A brave and beautiful trans
I
woman.
want to see
is
this
taking
movie,
gold in
actually.
female
I do
competition,
want to see this
winning
movie.
We're kid free, so we love to treat our furry babies.
All right, I'm
We're kid-free.
skipping.
Okay.
We're kid free.
You know, your online data includes personal information such as your name, address, phone number, email address, financial information, and login credentials.
this
Hackers
the
are
ad?
replacing it with a different
This is the
secure
ad.
IP of your
Okay, I'm
choosing. You
skipping
believe
the
your internet
ad.
data belongs
How
to
long is
you.
the ad?
Then ExpressVPN is the vpn.com/Matt Walsh show to learn more. So what's really going on here? Let's take a step
You're
back.
going to tell us, man.
And first of all, a few points. Number one, are you really trying to take ownership of Costco as childless people? That's like saying that a benefit of
Guys, okay, it's not your guys' fault. How is he so popular? See, this is what I don't get. You don't have to toss. You remember, you practice bat, you throw the ball up, hit it yourself. You don't have to toss yourself the ball to hit it to create a show. There is enough bullshit happening out there, controversial stuff that if you just merely talk about it directly, it's already going to be controversial. You'll be able to enlist controversy to market your stuff. Like, I don't make the stuff up about women not liking men that much. That the data out there kind of, which I think is controversial enough. When it was the build up to the housing crisis, even if you dared suggest that housing could go down, there'd be a crash. That was controversial enough. People, the American people are so stupid and they're so addicted to being popular. You don't have to search for topics that are going to have them clutch their pearls. You got what? You got a little TikTok video trend and this qualifies as news? Let me go back.
being childless is that you get to go to the Rainforest Cafe. I mean, those places exist for us, for parents. That is our domain.
No. If we have money, we could go wherever we want. It's never mind. While I have shitty internet, I'm going to let Matt talk.
For the record, I buy whatever snacks I want for myself whenever I want them, whether from Costco or anywhere else.
You're wealthy.
My children do not prevent me from indulging in that way. The only difference is that if anybody asked me to provide a list of the things that I love.
Dude, Matt, this is why you Republicans are so out of touch. Do you think the average black person or immigrant, Hispanic, illegal, or do you the average white person, average couple with kids, do you think they have your wealth? Do you think the average person growing up in a poor family, regardless of the race, do you think that they're like, oh, yep, I'm just going to spit out kids like my mom did? And then we're like, do you think they're not putting together the math? Like, hey, wait a second. There were 5 of us. We didn't know our dad. If I don't have 5 mouths to feed, maybe I could afford it. Not everyone is a millionaire like you, Matt. And I'm glad you're a millionaire, but you're not. Oh, I can afford it. Are you fucking joking me? That's your argument? He's not listening. I'd expect to. I don't listen to Matt Walsh, bits and pieces here and there, but I was expecting a little bit more, intellectual honesty, self-awareness.
Love most about my life, I wouldn't cite the fact that I can buy snacks for myself. Okay, if somebody were to come to me,
I'm gonna interject right here. It gave me great joy when I'm not kidding, Matt. I don't care what makes you happy, Matt. Sometimes things make people happy. Now, I say it would be freedom and stability in my case, but when they came out with $5 footlongs, I was happy. Not because, I had this coveted approach to the materialistic thing of a $5 footlong. It's like, wow, it frees up other money for me to go do other things I want, like play video games or go hiking. I wonder what he would consider. Is hiking okay? You're not there with your kids. All right, can I go ride motorcycle riding? You're not there with your kids. Can I have a creative life? I don't like, for example, Michelangelo. I don't know if Michelangelo created kids or not. What does his artwork count for anything? You don't have the kids.
and say, what's the greatest thing about being you, Matt? What do you love the most? Well, I can buy snacks. I wouldn't say that, not because I can't.
He's reducing their argument to something that they're
buy snacks, but because that's a rather banal detail that I would think is probably not worth mentioning. And yet, for dinks, a snacks and Costco play apparently a...
You're concluding 4 dinks doing shtick on the internet, of which you've had 4 samples of videos. You're deducing all dinks' life purpose and moral and life goals and values. This is why I always have a question when I saw the TikTok videos of the girls crying about having to work. Oh my God, I have to work 9 to 5. I'm like, that she's damseling. That's bullshit. Does she have a link to her OnlyFans or her MoneyGram or her PayPal? Does she? It turns out she does. And some of you guys are falling for this too. Remember the blonde gal in a really nice fancy car with her degree in marketing complaining of having to work at a restaurant? And she did the clapping thing. That's the clapping. That's the future Karens of America right there. I need to have more money. And I'm like, that's bait. And sure enough, you found out she got herself a YouTube channel, some kind of social media channel trying to get people to subscribe. I got to wait for the internet. I don't take that seriously because it's theater. It's shtick. That's not really what's going on. And that's why I've tried to make fair. Is this seriously what's happening? If it comes in the Daily Mail, do women really think that about men, or are they just going for clickbait? I don't know. Did Matt fall for it?
Central role in their lives. On their deathbeds, while they're lying there alone with no one to mourn them or care that they're dying or remember them when they're gone. If the hospice nurse, who's the only person who's going to be in the room with them, asks them to pass along a final piece of wisdom, they will look up and with their final dying breath, they will whisper, get a Costco membership. They have great deals on Cheez-Its. See, a person's life has to revolve around something, has to be dedicated to something. And even by their own
freedom
testimony, it's clear that when people choose to be childless, their lives inevitably revolve around pure, self-centered, unadulterated, unencumbered consumption. That's not my...
Yes, because somehow it has to. Yes, there is the materialism. Right. There's nothing else except that maybe what? Maybe friends, family, social activity, fraternal orders, community participation, adventure. I got a whole book. See, Matt, maybe you get ahead of the curve and realize that half the population isn't going to have kids, isn't going to get married, and they're going to have to figure out what to do. He's lamenting a trend, which he's not wrong, right? Yeah, okay, having kids, family, that's generally, but okay, Matt, are you going to go tell the women to stop getting degrees in bullshit and get their financial act together and get thin and sexy? Are you going to tell the men to start losing weight and all that? It ain't, by the way, I'm done with this blame the men shit. Are you going to tell women to start becoming marriage material again? Are you going to do that, man? Because if not, and it's the rise of the she economy, it's women's choice. You go look up the data, you go get that research. Women don't want to have kids. What? And until that happens, ain't no going to be no family. What do you want everyone else to do about it? You got lucky, Matt. You found a great gal. You found a gal that had same interests. You want to have a big family. Now you're having a big family. That's not what the majority of people want. And so, without family, without kids, yes, they got to focus on other things, which material consumption and the luxury life, like eating out. Yeah. It's, oh my God, are they enjoying it, Matt? Are they enjoying the life of ease and luxury? Now, I will admit, obviously, I've talked about this before. Materialism is not going to make it. But this doesn't solve the problem that I'd say half the future of Americans are going to face where, okay, we're not going to have family because women are too busy with the damn careers and their debts that come with it. Irony. What do we focus on instead? I go through a ton of other stuff that dinks could focus on. Religion, community, philosophy, adventure, which is, yeah, it's travel, but I don't consider traveling. Oh, I go to Italy to have coffee at coffee shops. Well, that you could do that here. Yes. What else are they supposed to do, man? Does your wife know a shit ton of nice, marriageable women that are just like her and want to stay at home and raise kids? And could you tell us the secret to making millions of dollars? Could you tell us the secret of being able? You want to talk about luxury? Can you tell us the secret of being able to support yourself and a family as being a DJ starting when you're 24? Could you tell us how to avoid a real job like that? Not once have I ever said, shit, why don't you people do what I do? Knowing full well I am luckier than shit to have this thing called the internet and a podcast internet thing. And it all started as a hobby. I had a real job in the daytime, obviously. Never assumed it would go anywhere. I don't give people's advice. Well, dude, just podcast, bro. Dude, you're a 19-year-old young black kid from the ghetto, and your mom was a whore, and you had a tough upbringing, and dude, just go to college, bro. Just go be a DJ, bro. Go have your kid. Why are you having kids, bro? I'm like, no, get in the military, have them pay your way, food, clothing, shelter. This is how you get out. You got to be very, very judicious with your time right now. And here's how you get to like not being poor. And I love it when Matt's born right at I'm assuming he came from, he's born like right at the mid-level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And he's giving advice to everyone at ground zero. We're like, gee, I can't afford rent.
Accusation. Listen to them. Like any one of these videos where these childless people talk about the benefits of being childless, that's them saying it. Is that think of all the consumption we can do. Now, of course, it's true that the same is the case for many parents in the modern world. I mean, there are many parents who their lives also revolve.
I'm glad he mentioned it. He's right. And good for him.
Around consumption. But at least if you ask the average parent, however they may actually live their lives, they will at least say that the thing that gives them purpose and joy is their relationship with their children and their spouses.
And he's good to distinguish between that say versus action. The vast majority of parents are not happy with their children because they are soulless scumbucket Americans. They love their things, their material stuff more. Then they wouldn't get divorced. Then they wouldn't buy Range Rovers. Then they would actually sit down and think about the advice they give their daughter or their son instead of these bland platitudes of follow your heart and money will follow that would destroy their child, that will destroy their children. They would sit down and tell them that, but they don't. He's right there. But at least the DINKs didn't bring some innocent children into the world to lie and destroy them. Oh. One reason, and main reason I didn't have kids is because I couldn't support them. I could barely support myself. I care more about my non-existent children than most parents care about their children today. Have you thought about that, Matt? And he takes a biased sample from a bunch of TikTok idiots. Snacks. Deep philosophical analysis. Snacks.
They will talk about their families as the foundation of their lives.
No, they don't. I was in banking, man. They don't. They never talk about the kids. Like, this is a career, this thing, an MBA, get a car, boat, cabin up in the woods.
That shows at the very least that they are aspiring to something.
No, they're not. That's like the fat chick saying, I'm working on my weight. They're not. They're not.
Higher and greater than themselves. Whether or not they actually live up to their own aspirations is a different story. But the DINKs don't even aspire to the transcendent.
Here's another thing. Did you notice all the couples he noticed were young? Who's to say they're not going to have kids? Like, they're DINKs now, right? I guess everyone starts off as a DINK, right? And they're doing the spoofy. He's taking this serious. They're doing spoofy videos on TikTok. Oh my gosh, this is just like the nightly news with Walter Cronkite.
For them, there is no meaning in life except in their ability to.
They didn't say that. God, see, I can't watch Matt. I can't watch him now. Is it shtick? Is he this naive? Is he this dumb?
Sleep and eat and buy stuff. It is a deeply nihilistic way to live. And this is what makes the rise of the DINKs so catastrophic.
I want to know what his solution is. If it doesn't evolve, women got to knock it off with this feminist bullshit and start, saying, hey, maybe we should raise family first and love and other people should come. Until I hear that, if he dares, you men got to man up and marry these sluts. Are you going to be a pastor here?
That is aside from the more immediate and obvious fact that this is a community which, if it reaches critical mass, would actually bring about the end of mankind, which, by the way, is a pretty good indication that you're making a bad lifestyle choice.
Okay, here's a question, Matt. What if this culture, this society, this subgroup of mankind at this point in time is a bunch of fucking assholes? Why the hell would anyone want to bring children into the United States here if they're going to do a good job of raising their kids? You immediately got to homeschool them. You can't send them off to the public schools because teachers are fucking toxic. And the kids are fucking toxic because the parents don't fucking raise their kids. And then what? Pay 50% taxes and have everybody say, oh my God, what are the traits you were born with? Are you joking me? Are you joking me? What culture? What community? A bunch of materialist grubbing fucks out here in the United States. We're all about how can I work the least amount possible. Are you kidding? People trying to 40 different flavors of gender. Get the fuck out of here. People don't owe society shit, especially a society that is shit. Now, if he's Catholic, okay, big family, maybe he has a community of Catholics, I presume, that they're welcoming and they're rewarding, and that's good. Or Halsey over at the Turd Flinging Monkey show. He's Jewish. He has the Jewish community. He has family. I could see it. What about secularists, especially in the West? Exactly what community are they going to bring their children into? As far as I could tell, it's the public schools. It's Disney. It's K through college. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And the whole violation of individual choice and right here. You really ought to. No, I really ought to not buy .coms at 1998 at the peak. You really ought to go to college. No, I really ought not to. I will decide.
If your lifestyle is one that, if adopted by a majority of humans, would spell the end of the human species.
Oh, no. The human species from roughly 1965 to today. What a great group of creatures they are.
Then that is a very powerful sign that there is something seriously wrong with your lifestyle.
Wrong with society, Matt. Wrong with society. Go put some more fucking oil in your beard. God.
But aside from that, if it's possible to put that detail aside, the rise of the childless by choice demographic is the rise of a group that has, in principle, given up on finding any meaning in life.
What about the spouse? Okay, double income, no kid. Wait, there's a human being there. See, if you said, confirmed bachelor or spinster, you might have an argument, but they have another person in their life. What if their spouse is the most significant? What if that's okay, huh? I don't know if he's being honest and he therefore this naive or dumb, or if he knows damn well what he's like. Is he like Paul Krugman? Paul Krugman, he knows socialism doesn't work, but he's an economist, by the way, but he'll come up with the most fantastic of economic analyses to make it look like it does, which is why he wins a bunch of awards and always is the go-to economist of the left. But he makes a lot of money. Matt, honestly, I'm calling your veracity. I'm calling your intelligence or your veracity. It's one of the two. One of the two.
Beyond the multiplication and satisfaction of desire, to use Dostoevsky's phrase. They're so dedicated to this calling,
They're not dedicated. They're a bunch of dumb kids on the internet doing TikTok videos, Matt. No one's written a treatise. No one's written a war and peace about being a dink.
Intent on consumption, that they are willing to end their own bloodlines to pursue it. They are willing to commit a sort of ancestral suicide just so they have more time to...
Let me ask. Ancestral suicide. Hey, Matt, I want to know his parent. I want to know what he must have come from a good family, because the vast majority of Americans do not have great ancestral lineage. You have a bunch of half siblings, half brothers, baby daddies, baby mommies, broken homes, single moms, deadbeat dads. And if they managed to stay together, they were divorced. If you took the percent of American children whose families were either nuclear family and married or not, I bet you the or not has got to be at least 80%. Sometimes, and I've never understood this. Like, have you ever heard me? My great-great-great-great-grandpappy Cappy. Grandpappy Cappy. You never heard me talk, because I don't know who the hell he is. I don't come from like some great lineage. It's not my genetics. It doesn't matter what your genetics are. They're like, oh, Cappy, you should really pass on those genetics. Why? What? That's not going to determine whether the kid is good or not. It's what the kid's going to do with his or her life. Ancestral. And Matt, aren't you religious? So you don't believe in this bioevolutionary genetic passing on thing? Your true inheritance, the true goal should be Christ. I'm being serious about that. Does not the Lord have a plan? Why should I torture young children, let alone myself, having kids I can't afford or don't want, bring them in today's modern world just to pass on my genetic legacy? And by the way, I've provided a caveat for that. Any woman can have my seed for $2 million after cash. If for whatever reason, there's got to be my DNA going on into the future. Don't know why, but if it's really important to people, fine. $2 million, ladies. You can have little baby Cappies.
Buy stuff. Now, just consider specifically that overweight male dink in the video who's especially excited about Costco. Well, one of them anyway, because they all were. But
a hot gal.
Take one of those guys and just put him in your mind. His ancestors fought and struggled and persevered and pioneered and bled and suffered, all so that he could exist. And he stands now at the end of a procession that
okay. There's 8 billion people on the planet with 8 billion equivalent historical lineages. We're not special. I don't know if you've noticed, the vast majority of people, they're not special. I've never understood this. You made it this far. It's like, no, it was all accident. It was all coincidence. Like, we just happened to not die of the bubonic plague 800 years ago. Certain people fucked, certain people screwed, certain people didn't, certain people aborted, certain others didn't. And here we are. There was no grand scheme. This was all luck.
Stretches back into the ancient past. We all do, right? Every single one of us. A line of people who made his very existence possible, who migrated thousands of miles and fought wars and tamed wildernesses and built homes.
Still trying to figure out what this has to do with him having kids or not. I don't. Did you write down here? Here's my question, Matt. If it was such an important legacy, did people write it down so that he knows there's a history? Because if there was no history, about he slew great grandpa Cappy, Pappy Cappy, slew 8 bears. And here are the bear rugs that we used to shield the house. Okay, there was
and civilizations all for him. And he turns back to those people, to his ancestors, to his blood. And he says, yeah, sorry, guys, we're done. We're done here. I'm going to end the bloodline right here. I'd rather have some extra spending cash to buy Doritos.
Yep. That's his choice. That's his right. And so what I'm trying to ask, what is the intrinsic value? What is the value of the legacy? If it has been recorded, if you don't know anything, I know something about my great-great-grandfather, not a lot. If it has been recorded, well, so? And let's say it was recorded. And so? This is his life. He gets to live it how he wants.
I've decided. The sheer hubris is astounding.
No, Matt, your hubris assuming that you know what's better for other people's life and shaming other people for their personal choices. That's what's arrogant. I don't begrudge Matt him having kids. Go have your kids. Congratulations. Very happy for you. But just because, if anything, people who don't have kids are very selfless. Like, no, we don't want this. Honestly, I bet you if you were to poll people who, like, they legit don't want kids, they did it because they didn't want to raise their kids in the shit life that they came from, whether it was a divorced family, poverty, they themselves couldn't support their own children. They could barely support themselves. That was my case. That is humility. That is selflessness and thinking of other kids. I guarantee you it's not snacks.
So, of course, I realize that this man would be totally mystified by the notion that he has any responsibility at all to his
He doesn't have responsibility, Matt. He's not hurting anyone.
family, his ancestry.
He doesn't. Nope. Here, let me ask you that. Let me ask my audience, for those of you that grew up in broken homes, do you owe something to your parents who couldn't fucking keep it together? Do you owe something to your community? Look at this guy.
His bloodline, much less to the God who created him.
Okay, now everyone's religious, Matt. So people don't.
He hasn't thought about any of this. He's thought only about his own immediate happiness.
See, here again, Matt is wrong. I guarantee you the majority of people who didn't have kids did so because they didn't want to hurt the kid, the theoretical kid. I can't respect. I say I don't hate Matt, but I sure as fuck don't respect him. I don't know. I think that's even worse.
But in pursuing happiness above all, happiness through luxury, happiness through consumption, he will miss it. Because happiness comes.
No, Matt. What if they're avoiding pain? See, that there is no happiness, there's contentment and peace. And there is legacy. And yes, that can be achieved by having kids. What if you did not have the luxury of being a DJ your entire adult life? And I'm going to assume coming from not a privileged family, I hate using that word, but family is very stable. What if you're just trying to get by, Matt? God, I bet you Maslow's hierarchy of needs only has 3, like self-esteem, what was it? Social acceptance and self-actualization. That like safety, food, clothing, shelter, that just didn't exist in his world. Some people are just fighting to survive, Matt. And you wonder why the Republicans can't win a fucking... Oh, my goodness. I mean, that's the thing. I've known poor Republicans, but here we got the Colonel Klink monocle with the... My goodness. How dare you want to eat food and live a life of ease and sleep in? Don't you know you have an obligation? Why can't you go and be a DJ, radio, disc jockey millionaire, such like me? Well, tiff toff, when I was 24, I had a job as a DJ.
Comes from fulfillment, and fulfillment comes from doing that which you are made to do.
Yes, and that's not always spit out kids, Matt.
Okay, it comes from finding your place in that ancient ancestral struggle.
Yes, we're surviving, Matt.
From taking part in it.
We're partaking, Matt. I'm going to go see Die Hard. Are you guys going to go see Die Hard? I'm going to participate in my culture and community.
From building the next generation. So
no, no, not when it threatens our lives and the lives of the children.
The fight can go on.
What fight? What are we fighting? What?
Happiness comes from fulfilling your purpose in life.
Yes, and for that's not everybody has to have children.
It comes from pursuing the transcendent, not the transactional. So,
here, okay, guys, please listen to me. You cannot follow this man's advice on what is important in life. Now, if you are religious, like you were legit religious, doesn't matter which religion, his advice would work. But for those of you who are secular or are on the lower levels of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, especially for those of you who are younger, which is probably 85% of the people out there under 40, you can't follow this man's advice. This is the type of guy you're going to go marry that high school sweetheart that you found in the church, start spitting out babies and believe that the Lord will provide with no rich parents. And your life is going to be fucked. It's going to be pain and misery. And then you're still going to get divorced, or you're going to be under such financial pressure that you will not be able to provide your children a stable upbringing. They will sense it. They will feel it. And they're going to be raised and fucked up. Yo, what if your family's legacy was just fucked up children after fucked up children, poverty after poverty after poverty after poverty? living in Section 8 housing, being poor. What if that was your family's legacy? Why don't you be the one guy to stop it? I guess if I had Matt's parents, it would have been puppies and flowers and unicorns and cupcakes. Let's pass on the generation, son. It wasn't that. It was alcoholism, poverty, divorce, really pissed off Lutheran fathers. And I'm not even talking my old man. I'm talking going back generate more alcoholism, but drug addiction, crime. Hey, I got an idea. just how about we end it here? How about there's not another generation of suffering? How about we do future children a good, great service? And we don't bring them into this world. We end this genetic line and we do society a favor. It must have been nice to have Matt's childhood. It must have been real nice.
The DINKs will grow in number.
Yes, they will.
But they will also grow in misery.
No, they won't.
They will live superficial lives.
Some will.
And they will die anonymous deaths.
We all do.
And if they have their way, they'll take down all of civilization with
them. That's the whole idea when I give advice about majoring in engineering. But if we all major in engineering, the market would be flooded. Just shut the fuck up, you lazy sack of shit. Just say you don't want to major in engineering. Just say that. Oh, don't give me this. But if we all, then accountants will make that much money. There will always be people to breed. Always. I love how it's not your life, according to Matt. You need to go out and marry these sluts. You need to go out and start spit out children you can't afford. You need to, the Lord's gonna, how dare you sit and enjoy your life? What for all these, imagine this. Imagine you were brought up, whatever, trailer park, ghetto, barrio, whatever. And you are the one that went to the military or got out of poverty, you got your degree, and now you got your money, and you just don't want children. You know, and here you got, you better go back and go have more kids. Like, you know, there's was it Dave Chappelle with the crown? He's holding his money. Fuck you, Matt. Fuck you on a telephone pole. I ain't giving up my freedom. A lot of us fought out of this fucking Maslow's hierarchy of needs hellhole to get stability. Some of us aren't all there like, we can afford 6 kids with $1 million salary. Fuck you. We like having a full night's rest. We like not starving. And a real fuck you to Matt. Now that I think about it. Were you ever down to 118 pounds, Matt, because there's no fucking food? Were you ever down that much? I'll be happy with food, a stable source of food. I'll be happy with my house and the pipes not freezing. I'll be happy knowing I don't have to worry about money anymore. I'll be very content. Unless, Matt, did you want to, like, were your parents going to help other people out? I do want to know. I don't know for a fact, but I can't imagine you come out with this philosophy, if you can even call it that. And how from the age of 24 do you make it in radio? What did you ever serve a dish? You ever clean dishes? You ever work as a waiter, Matt? I want to know what your parents did. I want to know what they did. And then maybe when we all have parents like that and we start here on third base, oh my goodness, tiddly winkly daddly doos. Shucks, howdy, I'm going to have another kid. It's another thing. He obviously comes from a stable community, not criticizing. So when him and his wife had kids, maybe grandma and grandpa can watch. A lot of people don't have that stable community. All right, let's continue on.
But at least they'll get to spend more time at Costco.
Okay, so there was the intellectually dishonest. I'm going to call, he's not that dumb. I don't think he's that dumb. He can't be that dumb. There was the intellectually dishonest Matt Walsh. I'm glad all the clickbait and controversy resulted in marketing dollars and advertising revenue for Matt. I mean, look, I'm sending him traffic right now. We're making him more of a household name, and I'm glad that he could feed his kids with that. Congratulations, Matt. And now you're wrong. And there you go. There you go. All right, let's go to the super chats and have it. But here, I'm not going to, well, geez, guys, geez, gang, why don't you just marry up that woman, have 8 kids? Why can't you just make super chats like me? Oh, geez, just set up a website, go. Nonstop trade $2. It's hard for most to understand Cappy at his height. It is. You have to bend down. Alex Petito, a truck driving Latino agent in the field, $10. I got married. I do not push my way of life on others. Just because I have succeeded thus far doesn't mean it can't go to shit. Never believe my success will be your success. Why care if others get married? See, yeah, I don't think a single person here begrudges Alex for having his family. In some ways, I'm kind of jealous. I've never wanted kids, but I've seen a picture of Alex's family, and you look at the family. Like, oh, look at him. He's got these 2 or 3 little rugrats. You got more than one, and they're all dressed up. They're all excited to be there. Picture with dad. There's his nice wife. And, I'm sure the kids are excited about Christmas right out there coming up. It's going to be good times. And I've always said, yeah, sure. Family, love, other people. Yes. But sometimes now when it comes at the expense of food. Nonstop Dre 360, $2. Not everyone can have a wife and harem like Chad Elkins. Nope. We all can't be Chad Elkins. I roll, therefore I am. I sink, therefore I am. Yeah. Sylvanus B, $5. Matt has to spend controversy of the simplest BS to pay for all those kids. And good for him. But I'm going to call it on this. I don't think he's any different than the little girl crying in her fancy car. Oh my God, I have to work. Here's my Instagram account. Subscribe. I can't find a man. See, if you see any of these girls crying about men, they're all good looking and they all have links to the money. It's all fake. It's all fake. Nonstop trade, $2. Why does society hate single men so much? Because you're not enslaving yourself. That's what it is. They have a instinctual, unconscious, subconscious. He's not working. Why isn't he working? And this is why they had bachelor taxes in the olden days. And we still kind of do have a bachelor tax. Men pay way more in taxes than women. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. Women, you consume your net negative economic parasites, by the way. If you don't believe me, go get my book below, A World Without Men, an economic analysis of an all-female economy. I'm not making that up. I'm not slamming. I'm describing it. You girls consume more in taxes than what you pay in as a group. I know there's some women out there. But yeah, how dare you men not? We used to produce all the economic production, generally speaking. Now, women did take care of the house. There was some genuine economic production there as well. But that's why society, well, look, the men aren't getting married anymore. There's articles, army of 7 million men not working. How do we get these men back to work? It's like, what if that's their choice and go fuck yourself? What if they don't want to work? How about that? Oh my God. And you'll do anything but what is required to get those men to get off their ass and go work. We need more programs. We need more education. We need some more incentives. Like, so you're going to make women thin and hot and they're going to have sex? Oh, anything but that. Okay, well, then you're going to have an army of 8 million men next year, and then it will be 10 million. Oh, nosies. We can't have the women's having the sexies. Oh, sorry, I skipped ahead. So, Dre, I don't think society hates men. I'm getting back to Dre. They don't hate men. It's unconscious, but they do not ask men what is in your best interest to motivate men. A better way to put it is society does not care what men think. I even have it in here. I go through what % of women are disinterested, are annoyed by, are adversarial towards, and hate men. That statistical breakdown alone makes that book, I think, worth reading. So you know what society views men like. That's A World Without Men. It's available on Amazon. Look it up. You shoot your eye out, Frank. $2. Where's the dog of merciless beatings? I'm not in Vegas yet. Not in Vegas. Generation Apollo, conservative. DINKs are stealing from society. Also conservative. Single moms having 5 kids that can't afford to take the welfare is perfectly okay. No, they don't like them either. Like, I hate all these welfare queens and people taking it. And then, how dare you not take from society? Like, what do you want? What do you want? PJ Cornell, $5. Quit being such a terrorist. A terrorist, Cappy. Go make more future taxpayers. Otherwise, who will support our nation's future spinsters? The more people complain and get angry with me and my choices are people like me, the more I know I'm doing it right. Not once in my entire experience living with my generation of Americans and the generations before and after me that were all here, not once has doing what they said worked. Not once. They all want you to sacrifice. They all want you to do what's in the best interest of society and not yourself. And to society, I say, go fuck thee. Fun and honesty, $2. What is the point of marriage without kids? There's no point. That's why I recommend not getting married. That's rule number 5. Now, if you're going to have kids, I still don't think you need to get married. You need to be together. You need to be called mom and dad, but I don't think you need to get married. That marriage shit, that's out. That's a separate thing. That's the fact that there's so many rules that the government has gotten involved, and there's so many rules and laws now associated that you do not want the legal status of marriage. But you can still effectively have a family if you like in certain states. And even then, once you introduce kids, you have to get a lawyer and you have to get that all squared away and get that all set up. And then hope for the best that when it still goes to court, all the documentations and legal contracts you have with your spouse are honored by the feminist judge who hates men. Nonstop Drake, $2. Imagine Matt paying child support for those 6 kids. Oh, he wouldn't have any money. And then imagine if, I think it was David Foley, who his child support was established when he was at the peak of his acting career. And then he didn't get any more acting gigs afterwards, and he couldn't afford the money, but the Canadian government wouldn't lessen his child support. Yeah, imagine if that happened for whatever. I don't think so. I think Matt actually does have a wonderful wife. And miscarriages will humble a woman very quickly and teach her what's really important in life. And they have 6 kids. I think they have a great family. I think that's not going to happen. But yeah, what if she divorces him someday? Happened to his buddy Crowder. And then what happens if the money goes away? Is he going to be podcasting from his tent in Oregon, in Portland, Oregon, on the street, all haggard looking? Burbshide, 5 Australian. Well, dumb people breeding. It's only a matter of time before Dr. Pepper is irrigating the cornfields. I know. Dude, I guarantee you a lot of it also boils down to a difference in view of life that Matt versus I have. Matt believes this is like Alderaan. I believe I'm in the bowels of the Death Star after Calrissian, and I think it was Wedge, knocked out the regulator, and the explosion is behind us as the core collapses, and we're shooting through with the X-Wing and the Millennium Falcon to get out before it explodes. I don't believe this society is sustainable. Good luck, Matt. You brought 6. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with Matt's 6 kids. Not that I wish any of those kids ill, but I can't wait to see what's it going to be like in 40 years. It's going to be like Terminator. They're surviving barely. Lavish Patch Kid, 20 generous dollars. How did he get her? Laugh aloud, because dudes they want won't settle down, so they have to marry lames, and they don't want the lame's baby equals dink. Wait, hang on. You lost me here. The fat guy. How do you get her? Because dudes won't settle down, so they have to marry lames, and they don't want the lame's babies equals dinks. Okay, good theory. Good philosophy. There are starter husbands. They're waiting for Chad to make babies with. You could be absolutely right. You could be. I just looked at that guy and I looked at that gal. I'm like, how the hell? How the hell? Alex Patino, a truck driving Latino agent in the field, $5. I get the impression that Matt Walsh is really envious. Also, he talks down about being able to buy snacks and tells me he had an easy child. That tells me he had an easy childhood. I don't think he's envious. I think he's very happy. I think he's very sincere about his religion and his family. I think this is shtick. I think it's lying. That's ultimately what it is it's lying. Oh my God, I'm shocked to find gambling going. Look at these crazy kids in their TikTok videos. That's a total accurate representation of reality. Nonstop Dre, $2. Matt, real men become plow horses and breeders for society. Right. Which maybe he has talked about in the past, but look, you ain't getting, men are the engines of economic growth. We run on female youth and beauty as our fuel, and it needs to be a certain octane level. It needs to be 91. You put a hot chick with tig old bitties in front of us, we're fired up. We'll go to the moon and back. You get that army of 7 million men, you give them a hot chick, they'll fire up right away. Right? Instead, you come up to us with like a fuel that's fat, disgusting, lippy, other men's kids, and it's like 37 octane. That is not going to work on our engines. Are we going to talk to the other half of society? Say, look, turns out men produce things, kind of need them. And apparently the only thing that's going to get them off their ass is if they have like, a loving wife and some children, but got to be physically attracted to you. Could you girls like tone it down with the man hatred bullshit and maybe not dye your hair pink? And I'm like, a bucket of popcorn. Let's go. Let's watch those labor force petition. Oh, the electric grid went down there, huh? Oh, well, as long as those girls never were thin or hot or attractive or nice to men, as long as that keeps happening, I don't care. Got my solar panels. PJ Cornell, $5. Speaking as someone who does plan to be a parent, why would you scold people who don't want them? Do you really want these people to be parents? Right, exactly. See, and here, PJ, here's where I think Matt's being intellectually dishonest. I don't think deep down inside he cares. I don't. He's just got to be controversial. It's kind of like professionall wrestling. Ha, look at you squares not having the children. Ha, ha, ha. And you and me and Alex, I don't have kids, but we all, you want to have kids, but you don't have them. Alex has kids because you want them. I don't have kids and I don't want them. I think we all agree. Well, that's Alex. We're probably happy. Like, oh man, yeah. Is there a very little bit. Old man Alex gets to go downstairs on the 25th of this month. His little kids believe there was a guy that came down, fat guy came down the chimney and left them presents. He gets to see him open the presents. He gets to he gets to experience that. What am I going to do? I'm going to find a Jewish restaurant or an Asian restaurant on the 25th. And you're just going to be, girlfriend and I are going to have coffee. Probably going to put on some Christmas lingerie for me. We're going to have coffee and probably get a blowjob in the house. And then we'll migrate and get some, maybe I'll go for a hike, listening to a podcast, and then go get some food at an Asian restaurant in Vegas. It's going to be so bad. There'd be Matt. All he has is blowjobs and Asian food on Christmas. And that sounds like a pretty good life to me. Blowjobs and Asian food on Christmas. Oh God, what is the moral realm of it? Oh, just me and my snacks, I guess. And Alex is kind of like, I could see blowjobs and Asian food on Christmas. Yeah. And you probably do a bit of both here. You have your family down there, but not one of us are like, oh, how dare he have children? Oh, how dare he have blowjobs and Chinese food on Christmas? Nonstop Dre 360. But Cappy, not everyone can be too ahead of his time like you. Yep, correct. Tube Bunny Choose, $5. The kryptonite to being a dink is that you have to cohabitate with a woman. Yeah. And I'm thinking going down the road, you don't want to cohabitate. Like you could have I've said this before. I think the future is men and women having their own households, because you can't do it. You just can't do it. It's the roommate situation. It has nothing to do with male female dynamics. It's just like there's somebody that gets on your nerves all the time. It's like no. You have your own place over there. I'll have my own place over here. And a lot of it is usually there's a materialist. Someone's more materialistic than others. Generally the woman, not always. Girls like to nest. Well, look, we got to have, like, yeah, you could have that over at your place. That would look, hey, you know what? That thing that you just brought across the threshold into my house would look great at your house. Yeah. Because That I got a perfect place for that. Really? Girls get so, oh my God. Like, you better make sure the girl's outside. She's going to get so wet when you say, I got the perfect place for that thing that I didn't ask for, that you brought into my house. Really? Where? It's called the garbage. But things and stuff. Then they put it in their place. Alex Patino, a truck driving Latino agent in the field. This year, my wife went to see her family for the summer in Mexico. She's still down there, and with me going to see them, I could see that I would save lots of money. I am thinking of putting my house to rent. Oh, don't worry about putting your house to rent. For what? Who's going to rent on Christmas? Don't take that risk, Alex. Don't. See, your wife went to see family for the summer. Oh, so she's gone for the summer? You mean for the winter? Oh, so she's been gone a while. You're already saving lots of money. Yeah, people cost money. Sig 226, $2. Thank you. BDR, $2. Let's take wagers on what age his divorce will be. I don't think he'll get divorced. I really don't. Usually people that have that many kids, they really are family oriented. I'm not questioning his veracity on that. I am questioning his, like, oh my God, shock. Sniper Wolf, Sniper Wolf, all of her thumbnails, like that. That's the fucking shit I'm talking about. My truth, the king, one of two. You know who else has snacks? Single mommies, but zero shame, guilt, or insult that way, which is supposed to be modern day exile, aka cancel culture. Two of two. Whoever you can't criticize is who is truly in charge, and dudes are gonna bifurcate. Minimalists who can live on 18,000 a year, and a few successful six-figure guys. Yeah, it's already happening. I have a fair amount of clients, many of whom are those young black men who escaped the thing and didn't have kids and went into the military, got IT or some kind of, and are making the six figures. Not exclusively, but I'm just showing from the poorest of the poor. They didn't have kids, and now they're out, and their situation is drastically improved. And I would add, here's the other thing Matt doesn't get. We can always have kids. And so whereas you're younger and you're just fighting to get out of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like, I'm never going to have kids. Well, maybe you change your mind. All of a sudden, you got a decade of stability. You're making your six figures as a 29-year-old man. 10 years go by, you're 39. You're like, oh, wait, okay, the food is coming in. I have my house paid off. Well, maybe I could afford a kid. It's better to do that at 39 than 19. Burbshide, 5 Australian. Let strong, independent boxed wine consumers breed their cats. Cats are better than feminism anyway. Boy, cats are pretty evil. Cats are like the devil's little spawn on this planet, but you're not wrong. They're better than feminists. They really are. PJ Cornell, $2. He's not being Krugman. He's being Catholic. Okay. Fair point, sir. Fair point. Garrett Howard, $2. 1D thinking plus giant ego equals Matt. I don't know about ego. I'm really let down where I smell dishonesty, intellectual dishonesty. Nonstop Drake, $2. I don't want kids unless I'm wealthy. Being poor sucks. Yes, it does. Nonstop Drake, $2. Matt is the male version of Oprah. Hashtag Operation Evil. I don't know if he's full-blown Operation. He wouldn't be a conservative. If he wanted to do full-blown evil, he would have been a Democrat or a leftist thing, or you're entitled to free shit on top of it. I think he's just spinning it a little bit to make more money. Generation Apollo, $5. Lots of royal families in history failed because they were inbred and birthed artards who bankrupted their kingdom. So much for honoring ancestry. And I've never, that's nepotism. That's preferential treatment of family members instead of the best. That I don't care about who we share blood. I don't give a shit. You're a dick. You're an asshole. You're a Democrat. Fuck off. Restore data, $5. Because Conservatives are not winning the culture wars. Matt Walsh is the prime example of this. Vibrant hip, not give a shit. Oh God, really down here. Drew, $2. Hang on, let me test this. I'm just gonna leave the tester open. No, it says it's pretty good. Okay. It looks fine. Drew, $2. You can make $140 a year delivering beer. Yeah. Yeah. Nonstop Dre, $5. Cappy is our modern day economist version of Nikolai Tesla. Great works and ideas, but unfortunately too ahead of his time and dies poor. It might happen. I'll be remembered, though, I guess, in some capacity. At least I got my books, you know. There's a legacy. That's not children. Here's some wisdom. Helped out thousands. Hopefully someday in the future, it'll be millions of young people that they're richer than they were before. They have easier lives than I did. Easier lives than what they would have had they not read my books. Drew, $2. Does this include gay marriage dinks as well? That's a good question. Because they're not going to have kids. I guess maybe he'd make the argument that they should adopt then. But if he's Catholic, he'd be against that because they're gay. Yeah, what about, I guess he would dismiss the argument because I guess maybe he wouldn't recognize gay marriage as factual or a thing. I don't know how he would do it. And oh man, all those darn gay couples with all their money and their good citizenship behavior and gentrifying neighborhoods and making houses really nice and spending their money. Oh, all those dang gay married people with their acute sense of fashion. Boy, shucks, howdy, I hate those guys. Brian Rangers, $10. I have a wage slave, 9 children and a divorce. He is fucked 8 ways till Sunday. Yep. Drew, $2. Saved well into the 6 figs by not being married. Yeah. Look, you will hurt yourself and you will definitely hurt your kids if you have kids you can't afford. And I've never been against you can have kids if you want. Just make sure it doesn't ruin you. Because if it ruins you, it's going to ruin the kids. I mean, yeah, you need to have kids, but man, not right now. And look, sometimes society needs to sometimes society needs to go away. The society we have right now is sick. It is not meritocratic. It is unfair. Fuck this place. As I've said before, I gotta get this hat right. Hang on. This hat is fucking wrong. You think a simple Christmas hat would be easy. There we go. It's like school. Life is like school. I'm not sending my kids to the public schools. You look at the schools, you see the bullshit going on there. It's a metaphor for life. I'm not bringing my kids into this world. I might bring my kid into like an Asian country or a culturally stable country. I'm not bringing them here. I'm not bringing them. Like, heaven forbid if I had sex with a white woman, we had white kids. Oh my God, my kid is already the devil and he's male. He's the devil and get the fuck out of here with this society. And then what? Do I have to send my kid to a school where oh, by the way, if my kid had to go to school and was once picked on for clothes he wore, I'm like, you grab a baseball bat, take out the kid's knees. You could do that up to about the 6th grade. Then there's going to be real problems. Otherwise, we're just going to send you to we have to send you to a shrink. Teachers tell you, no, you don't have, leave school. Look, if your teachers ever lie to you, you want to be picked up at school, let me know. I'll pick you up. Just let me know. You don't have to be there. No. What did your teacher say? I'm going to have a chat with your teacher. Yeah, my kid probably be kicked out of school because of me before he made it to the 3rd grade. Reed Schwartzer, $5. Matt, I'm Christian. Want to show me where my loving wife is? Just man up. Yeah, this is still too common on the right. I'd like to know how he met his wife. Tell us the secret, Matt. You show us all these nice, good Christian girls or nice girls in general. They're going to be nice stay-at-home wives. You show us where they're at. Craig Tech, $2. Some of us just enjoy the peace of being single. Right. And dude, I can't imagine what it would be like having kids. especially when they're, you know, I've watched over my nephews and nieces, the little, you know, like you can't leave that little baby, you know, an infant you can't leave alone. It's like, okay, it's got to be here. If only there was a system where one person would stay at home and take care of the kids, freeing the other one to maximize the income earning. No, let's toss it back and forth and drop it off at the day. Drew, $2. I prefer a peaceful life with disposable income. Yes, that's what I prefer. Like the samurai who just sits there and relaxes, or the Buddhist monk who's just quiet and enjoying life in the peace. Thanos when he got his resort beach condo property before the Avengers showed up and killed him. I guarantee you Matt came from a very easy life because he has a positive view of it. Some of us just want to not starve. Some of us want to exist in the absence of pain. And we're very happy with that. We're perfectly happy with that. Nonstop Dre, $2. But Cappy, T-Rash will save the low birth. He will, and so will all the immigrants. Not my problem. Not my problem. Reed Schwartzer, $5. Can't wait to watch Cappy and his books become famous after he's... Yeah, thanks, Reen. After he's dead and the majority crash hits. Yeah, I can't wait for that either. For my books to sell billions of dollars after I'm dead. That would just be great. Yeah. Whatever heir to the books I have to do, the copyright thing to pass it on to the heir. Whatever snot nose, getting back to your legacy. Yeah, my legacy is going to be some rich snot-nosed Marxist leftist great-great-grandnephew or niece who you know, cut off the genitalia because they make them popular. And then they get the billions of dollars and they become the next Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, it's a great legacy I left, Matt. Good thing. Good thing. Did you know who your great-great-great-great-granduncle was? Granduncle Cappy. We all became a bunch of insufferable trust fund baby ass wipes like Mark Dayton, and now we've ruined the world. Thanks for writing those books, Cappy, and your legacy. I get him a mini statue, might even make him tall. Yes, if there's any for the future, people, anyone who makes a statue of me in the future, if you could lie about me and make me 6'2", put that in my Wikipedia entry. He was a 6'2" man. PJ Cornell, $5. Mad advice is great for devout Catholics. Right. Ideology blinds you to the world. Right. Drew, $2. Gay couple I know are dinks and millionaires. Right. And they're positive contributing members to society, I presume. Correct? They're not lecturing you and me for not having kids or for having kids, right? They're going and being happy. They're being gay in the truest sense. Nonstop Dre, $2. Cappy, help me be poor no more. Hashtag Cappy Black Card +1. Cappy Black Card. What is that? Is that a black thing? Like Dungeons and Dragons? We need 91 octane minimum. We're getting to use vegetable oil from McDonald's. We don't even put it in our. We're like, no, I'm not putting that in my tank. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Get your fat, loud, ugly ass out of here with that shit. Maika, $5. Going to be laughing 30 to 50 years from now when the tradesmen are cutting into rich bunkers. They forgot tools and men made them. Tools and men can break them. I can't wait for it. It's already happening. But by the way, also in my book, A World Without Men. I'll show you the chart. I think this is the best chart. No, that's married versus single men income earning potential. No, percent living at home. Here it is. It's a small decline, but oh God, that's right. The camera's reversed. All right, so the downward trend, you may not be able to see it, but farmer, agriculture, trades, and then what is that? Construction, excavation. The trend is all these as a percentage of the population is going down. And over 40 years, I think that chart goes back, everything's down about a third. So by the time I'm dying or dead, we're going to be down to 1/3 the capacity of tradesmen that we were in 1978. Well, you fucking NBA finance dude bros are so fucked. All you girls, except for the 10% of you, which we have to contribute and salute those women. But for the 90% of you girls are so fucked. You're so fucked. in a world without men. I wonder what the excuses will be then. I wonder how fat and ugly you girls are going to be then. Like 40 years from now, imagine what it's going to look like. Well, without farmers, I don't think people are going to be that fat. Blanco Boy, $5. Matt demonstrated the problem with traditional Christianity's attack on men. Ignore its issues with women. We can, for intellectual honesty's sake, continue making the argument to him like, look, if you'd like to motivate men, if you'd like to have a better society, and we think if you'd like to have a better life, we think it'd be more rewarding if you stayed physically beautiful and feminine and went back to traditional roles and we got together. We could keep making that argument. It will fall on deaf ears until they are threatened with death. Not by us. I'm not saying we threaten people with, that's not what I'm saying. But when men, there are so few men, when there is not enough men to prevent nature from killing us all through starvation, hunger, and cold, that is when their lives will be threatened. They will have to sit and rethink their philosophy. And guys, this is one of the best books I've read. Please go get it. The concepts I can't just explain here on the fly in 30 seconds. But it will not be until their lives are threatened. Will they rethink? And I estimate it's going to take a generation of women to you're going to have to wait for a generation of women to actually die out. And the next generation of women to be like, there's no food. Wow, we are destitutely poor. How do we survive? That's when we will start to revisit the concept of traditionalism as a solution to our poverty problems. But until then, no one's going to, it's going to fall on deaf ears. You can make the argument. You can say, you girls really ought, it's not, what? There's electricity on. What? My government check didn't bounce? What? I can go girl boss and get preferential hiring? You're not going to beat that. It's going to be, but I want to work at the Disney Corporation. The Disney Corporation went bankrupt 10 years ago, sweetheart. We can't watch movies anymore because there's no electricity to show them. Blanco Boy, $2. The problem with women's. Oh, you corrected yourself there. All right. Drew, $2. I question everything and I'm seen as a negative. No, you should question everything because most people are negative and lying to you. JC Luzbell, new guy, $2. Traditionalism equals feminism. I try to tell everyone. You mean that, what, men take care of women in that kind of sense? Traditionalism isn't feminism. It's patriarchy. That's what it is. Which we didn't call it patriarchy. That's a pejorative term created by feminists. Like, oh, you know how way it was, and we naturally evolved this way. It's nature. Nature would be a more accurate way of describing it. Yeah, we're going to call it patriarchy because the men make all the money. Yeah, but don't they do most of the work and get shot in war? Shush you. Why do you hate women? Oh, okay, the pussy, whatever. All right, that's it. Questions, answers, AstroConsulting.com. Link below, A World Without Men. And then for those of you who think, Matt, he's not going to listen to this. Matt, why don't you read from a secular lens? If you could set your side out of the religious lens, go read the Book of Numbers. And you could see, it's another thing. Why are you having kids? You go show us where the women are that want to, that are marriage, mother material. Forget marriage material, mother material. That's a whole new level of sacrifice. You show me where the mother material is. Holy cow. What? Put somebody, not me, ahead of myself? Yeah, like your child. I have a life too. Okay, just drop the kid off at daycare and have him become a thug. Just have him become a felon later on. All right, see you guys later, Toodles.